In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the current progress being made on the Réseau Express métropolitain, or REM, in Montreal. We're going to be taking a look at the two new branches that are opening later this year. And we're going to start here in Deux-Montagnes. We'll head down to Édouard-Montpetit and then loop back on the other branch from Desource to Anse-à-l'Orme. 17 stations, let's get started. So here we are at Durontang, the northwestern terminus for the REM. And as you can see, just farther off in the distance in that direction would be the Durontang maintenance and storage facility. It's quite a bit distance back that way. We're not going to go that way to take a look today, but here's the station building. Platforms all above. And then at the far end over here, there's some emergency exit stairwells to come down. The track heads off in that direction. Really nice station, actually. Lots of glass, right in the community, near some homes. And as we get a little closer this way, you can see that the bus loop and the bus service for the EXO and the other local bus services around here, those shelters are going up, as well as parking and everything. The old EXO Durontang sign is still there. It's a really nice station. You can see like the nice glazing on the sides, gives it a nice patterned look to it. Entrance door here at the bottom on this side. Crossing underneath the overpass for the REM now. You can see the emergency exit and access stairwells on the sides. Now on the opposite side, entrance is just on this side over here. Interestingly enough, it doesn't have an entrance right around on this side. You have to loop onto the opposite side to go in, which is a little interesting. You can see the beautiful glazing going up. Probably what are to be some bike racks sheltered as well, which is nice. You can see they're putting some finishing touches on the glass work on the outside here. Really a nice station. And as we turn around the other way, you can see there's homes within, a couple dozen feet of the station, especially on this side here too. So if trains are your thing and you're looking for some real estate and want to see trains all day long, this is definitely a great place for it. Or if you want some great transit connectivity, you're just steps away from light rail, bringing you right downtown Montreal and beyond. A few more shots again. The emergency egress stairwells. Station itself, entrance on the opposite side, the bus loop. It's really nice. I mean, I can't get over how close the homes are. It's pretty neat. So here we are at Gramul and Station. Off in the distance there would have been Durontang. You can see a beautiful station here. Nicely done. I like the interlock stones. The fence, the blocks like for the retaining walls on both sides. It's actually really nice. And you have like these nice cute homes on the side here, just in walking distance. Some more on the other side. It's like some drop-off areas, probably bus on the side over there. There's a parking lot over here. So they got these big mesh fencing here to prevent anything from falling into the guideway. But you can see through it nonetheless. The platform screen doors. And as the trains exit the station going towards downtown, pass like this towards the next station, which is going to be Sainte-Dorothée Station, and it's located right next to a big park and ride once again. Station also looks really nice. It's a little set lower into the ground here, so it doesn't stand out quite as much. The homes are a little farther back from where the station is, so it's not right on top of the station. I have a nice overpass here with some blue accents. You can see one of the station entrances on this side. Should be another one on the opposite side of the guideway. You come in from underneath, train service is one level up. So what I do notice in comparison to the O train in Ottawa, there's a lot of fencing right up to the station. Like in Ottawa, you can kind of get closer. Some of the fencing is a little more just at the more problematic access point areas, but I mean here, even along the building itself, there's fencing. So I mean, a lot of the shots, unfortunately, are gonna have fencing in them. We'll try to get as close as we can. Some of the fencing is a little on the high side, so I can't hold the camera over it. You can see the nice glazing on the side of the building here. You know, like thin lines, thicker lines, spaced horizontally, vertically. It's really neat. It's not just like a standard pattern to all of it. So the entrance is back over there. Station platforms with the platform screen doors are up here. Emergency exit at the end. And then we have the guideway coming out like this. Nice and level. Very neat. I'm not sure if I ever noticed on the initial part of the REM, but I would assume it's all the same. There are these horizontal or vertical I-beam shaped supports for the overhead catenary system, which is similar to what they're using on the O train stage 2, so going east and west. So if you remember phase or stage 1, you know, from Blair to Tunney's pasture, they're round posts, and these are just like stage 2 on the O train, I-beam shaped. This is now from the opposite side of the station. You can see the opposite entrance. This side is more where the bus service looks like it will be. There's a big bus pad and area around here. You can see the nice station, the glazing, the entrance doors over there, then the guideway crossing and the pedestrian crossing bridge, which has the blue accent bars on its sides. So once again, you can see the platform screen doors. Station entrance is back over there. And then if we head in this direction, we'll arrive at the next station, Ilbigra. Here we are now at Ilbigra station. Only one entrance at this station, located on Chemin du Bois, just underneath the REM overpass and the point where you can cross from one side to the other of the little island here. And if we move over to the side here, you can see the center platform station in the middle. The two guideways going in both directions above. And once again, you can see the station above here. Platforms on both sides on the upper level. Entrance underneath. And then to the side over here, we have two traction power substations that supply the necessary voltage for the overhead catenary system to power the trains. So from that direction, it was Sainte-Dorothée, past the TPSS facilities here, station entrance underneath the REM overpass, and it continues on in that direction. You can see over here there's some parking spots along the side, obviously for carpool. Really isn't much bus service to speak of on this little island here. The train is pretty much the main connection for everyone using public transit in and out of here. It's pretty centrally located, and from even the farthest point on the island, you're walking maybe 10, at most 15 minutes, if even that. Nice plaza area out here, some benches, some overhead covering, lots of light, display screens, and of course the entrance down here. So I misspoke a few moments ago. There actually is two entrances, the one underneath the overpass and then the one on the opposite side here. And it's interesting that there's no, well, as far as I can see, there's no entrance like this on the opposite side. It's just underneath, which is kind of interesting. Either way, that's how you get in. This is the opposite side. You can see the platforms up there, the platform screen doors. It's a pretty interesting station. The old one, when it was the EXO line, it was pretty much at grade for the most part. It wasn't as rised up like this. Got a nice little REM sign right on the side. Pierrefonds, Roxboro station for the REM, previously known as Roxboro Pierrefonds. Here's the station. There's a lot of work going on around here. They're obviously building some new permanent bus stops underneath the guideway on that side. There's some heavy work going on around here. It looks like the old bus stops for this terminus were just on the side here. All the bus stops have been relocated to another location. Of course, there's a parking here, parking on the other side. It's really a bit of a mess here right now, but this is really just pavement, concrete work, so it should clear up pretty quickly over the next couple months in time for the opening. So you can see the guideway comes in from there, station located right here, entrance underneath, platforms above. And then the new permanent bus stop somewhere down there, which I can see they're doing a lot of work underneath there with the concrete and the rebar and the paving. And then from this angle, we can see pretty much right in the center of the screen the entrances to the station. Don't think we can really show much else because it's pretty much a pretty heavy construction zone. There's a lot of fencing and a lot of work going on. And the alternate angle from the other side, we're probably not going to see much anyways because it's set back from the road. But this should give you a good idea of where things are at. Obviously the station looks pretty much complete. It's just the work surrounding the station, again, for the bus stops, the pavement, the parking, all this area around here is really being worked on quite heavily. A couple more angles from the far end here of the station. You can see the platform screen doors above where they're working on the bus stops underneath, no doubt. And then just to the side here, you can see some traction power substations that are behind the fenced area. Here we are now at Sunnybrook Station. From what I can see, only one entrance underneath here on this side. Again, the far end here, the ventilation system. Nice glazing. Homes nearby. It passes over the road. On the opposite side of the station is a large parking area. We'll show that in a few moments. But very nice from this side. There's obviously some bike racks over here. So more parking on this side. We're here now under the REM overpass and guideway. You can see the entrance doors just underneath there. That'll pretty much be the primary entrance and exit for the station. Once again, entrance is just underneath. If we keep looking this way, you see the side profile of the station. The station has side platforms, not a center island platform. Then there's a large parking on this side, as well as on the opposite side of the station we just saw a few moments ago. It's again passing over the road. Very nice. So here's another view of the station, this time from the park and ride side. And I'm just going to point out that the entrance of the station's back over there, as we discussed earlier, under the overpass. But there's also a big opening over here where you can conceivably pass from one side of the parking to like the homes on the other side. There's no entrance there. Unless I'm mistaken or something's going to change, it really doesn't look like there's going to be an entrance there. It seems really confusing, that kind of look, because you would think that visually this would be a good spot for an entrance, but there's not. So hopefully they make it more clear as to where the entrances are and where they're not, because arguably there's going to be people for sure that are going to walk over here and think there's an entrance here, and there's not. And it's not clear that there's an entrance back over there. Like, you would look at this right now, and other than walking around, you'd have no idea where the entrance is, because clearly you would think here that's the entrance. So I'm not quite sure why that's the case. And also, arguably, again, the train is on the level above, so there's no reason why you can't have multiple entrances from the lower level. I don't know why these stations are super expansive and some of them only have 1 or 2 entrances. All right, so I just want to say a few things here before we go on to the next stations. Just driving these 5-6 stations, it took about a little over 2 hours. And that's because some of the stations here, the track actually crosses a couple rivers, and the way to get around them with the road bridges is pretty much taking the highway or quite a big detour. You know, whereas the train would have only taken maybe 5 minutes probably at most between a lot of these positions, it's taken in some cases about 20-25 minutes between. So just to give you perspective here, the train really makes a difference, especially in this northwestern part, like in Deux-Montagnes up to about Pierrefonds. To get in between those areas, big deal when you have the train that can just go straight across the river, and you're a pedestrian. Not very good when you're driving, especially if you're stopping at all of them along the way. But with that said, the rest of them should be a lot smoother, because we're pretty much going to be on the island the whole rest of the time, and it's going to go a lot quicker. Just wanted to share that. Here we are now at Bafrank station, definitely a very important station on the REM, because this is the final transfer point where you can switch before the lines branch off into 3. One heading off to the Montreal Trudeau Airport, the other one to Anse-à-l'Orme in the west, and Durontang in the northwest. So once you pass the station, it branches off and you have to have been on the right train at that point. So you can see here, it's a flat station. There's no there's no level above the ground level here. So once you go in, I believe you can switch from underneath. And you can see outside here, there's definitely going to be a lot of parking. And there's also going to be the bus loop over here for the local bus service. You can see the concrete pads for where the buses will stop, the bus shelters. It's quite nice. Then if we look a little closer, you can see in the direction of destinations further west. And then if we look the other way, destinations going towards downtown and towards Brassard. Obviously this is a construction site right now, so we can't really go in any closer. But it looks really nice. You can see they're working on some landscaping. Here you go. Bafrank REM station. Here we are now at Riso station. The station has entrances on both sides. It's a side platform station. On the opposite side is a park and ride. Can't go in from that side right now because it's fenced off due to it being still a construction zone. You can see the overhead catenary system. The entrance over here, and the guideway that continues off in the distance over there. So another view at the far end. On the opposite side at that end would be an entrance. So if you're coming from the other street, and then if you're coming from over here, this would be the entrance available to you as well. And all along the way coming from Bafrank over to here, there's a lot of sections where it kind of goes close to some apartments and homes. They have those nice white sound isolating noise fences that are installed along the guideway. Here we are now at Montpellier Station. It's right in a bit of a commercial plaza here with housing nearby. Again, this is the entrance right here. Nice glazing, passes over the road. Côte Vertu. Crosses over that way. There's also an overpass to be able to walk across. Here's another angle of the station from across the street. You can see the entrance. Platforms are above. There's also doors at the top by the platforms. And of course the overpass where the trains will pass across. It's quite nice. The glazing on this one's actually a lot less involved than the other ones, probably because it's kind of sandwiched in between some other buildings. It's only the part that sticks out really warrants any special glass treatment and look. Côte de Deas Station with a nice concrete paved path that goes down here to the station entrance below. As we peek through the fence, you can see the station entrance on this side of Rue Stinson, which is just near the Stinson STM bus garage as well. Now what's really neat with this station is that from the parking lots adjacent here, you can pretty much come right up to where the tracks and the guideway are. So we can see really well the platform screen doors and pretty much everything from this side. It's actually a pretty nice setup. You can see the tracks, the overhead catenary. Today is not a good day to see any trains operating pretty much almost all over the place along the guideway thus far. I've seen people working on the tracks, vehicles on the tracks, not a single train. But I mean, they have been doing some heavy testing, and obviously as they test, they make adjustments here and there. So it's probably one of those days where adjustments are being made. Here we are now at Ville de Montreal Station. And what can I say? It's actually a beautiful area right here. It's like pretty much the crown jewel central piece of this beautiful plaza area. And just across the street here, there's this little park plaza that was built over the tracks. It was actually open to the tracks underneath, and as part of the project they closed it in and made like a nice public square area here on top. Take a look at that in a few minutes. Unlike the other stations, the perimeter of the building itself has this nice sort of like a brownish red wooden kind of look to it. It's probably metal or plastic, but it gives a different look on the sides. And the farther back you go there, it's more of a slatted construction, so you can see in through the glass a bit. Of course, when you get off, if you want to have some really good pizza and Italian food, you know where to come, just right next door. This whole area here is really beautiful. Really nicely done, very upscale looking. They even got an old telephone booth. It's pretty cool. So now if we go down this side, we'll see the other profile of the station. So once you go into the station building itself, you go down one level because the track and guideway is below grade. And here's where the platforms are. Pretty much this whole length. You can see the guideway extending off farther into the distance in that direction. That direction would be Côte de Liesse, and back the other way towards the station entrance would be towards Canora. And then looking this way, you can see the far end of the station platforms, the platform screen doors, just on the opposite side there, really on both sides. Side platform station, and then the guideway coming out here. So this new plaza area is called Place de la Gare, or Station Square, in the town of Mount Royal. And as you can see, lots of nice ornamentation here to make it look really appealing. And then looking from the Station Square back towards the pizzeria and the station itself. Another look at the side of the station here, as you can see the reddish brown glazing on the side of the building, opening way to the platforms below. So we're here at Canora. It's the last station before it goes into the Mount Royal tunnel towards Édouard-Montpetit, McGill, and Gare Centrale, on its way towards Brossard. Unfortunately, it's the only one so far. This is pretty much the only view we can get of the station. There's construction hoarding all around. There's houses on both side streets, so we really can't see anything. And then there's a couple points farther down where there's a pedestrian crossing, blocked off and fenced off with construction happening right around it. So unfortunately, we're not really gonna see much here. But you can see the station and the guideway underneath, side platform station. Pretty much it, fortunately. Sure, in a couple months it'll be opened up around here, but they're doing a lot of work. As you can see, they're working on the street over here. They got a crane lowering some stuff down over here. It's really a lot going on. And then of course it passes underneath the road here. And then it goes up towards Mount Royal underneath and only emerges after Place Bonaventure on the other side. So this is what we see for now. But should be interesting once it's done. Next stop is going to be Édouard-Montpetit. Here we are at Station Édouard-Montpetit, a station we visited back in 2021, where we were offered the opportunity to go down below ground in essentially the deepest rail station in Canada, and apparently second deepest in North America. So here's the main entrance. You can also access through the metro entrance on the other side of the street, and by converse you can also enter the metro from here as well. It's located right next to the Université de Montréal campus, the Marie-Victorin Pavilion. You can see nice glazing here. There's also another door on the side of the Marie-Victorin Pavilion right over here. If we try to take a look inside, you can't really see much through the glazing, but essentially you would go inside, go down about one level, and there you will find the 5 high-speed elevators that will bring you down to the main concourse, deep underground. Apparently they're supposed to move fast enough that the trip will take about 20-some seconds. As you can see across the street, there's the REM connected underneath to the Montreal Metro Édouard-Montpetit Blue Line station. If you come in by the metro, just before the turnstiles to the side here, there's going to be another entrance currently closed off, but that'll connect to the REM side. From here, we're going to double back to head west, heading further west from Bafrank, where it splits off to go towards Anse-à-l'Orme. The next station is going to be Desource. Here we are looking underneath at Desource. You can see the entrance doors just over here, located underneath the REM guideway. Part of the ventilation system over here. So in that direction we're heading towards Anse-à-l'Orme, and in this direction we're heading towards downtown. And the next station that way would be back to Bafrank, where the line splits. You can see the guideway really well like this. That direction is back towards Bafrank. And crossing over here is the Desource station. You can see the entrance doors back there. Another shot from the opposite side of the station. You can see the nice glazing, entrance doors underneath. It's quite impressive too. Obviously what I can say around here is that it's really a lot of finishing work on the outside of the station. The station, again, pretty much like every other, virtually done. But the outside work here, you know, some landscaping, the pavement, the concrete for the entrances, the paths around the station still needs to be done. But again, like everywhere else, talking a couple months and it's going to be looking to be in pretty good shape after that. So here we are just outside Fairview, Pointe-Claire. REM station, the mall just behind, the guideway coming from Desource, swinging over the highway, swinging around here, elevated all the way pretty much to the end at Anse-à-l'Orme. It's going to be pretty spectacular being on a track that high up. And then just beyond here is the station. The only unfortunate thing is I would have liked to have seen the station be a little closer to the mall. Because I mean, if you look at it here, there's the station. You got to cross the whole parking lot here just to get back to the doors over here. Like, it's not an impossible distance, but it's a good 4 or 5 minute walk. Just like I mentioned at Sunnybrook, you can see there's a side over here that you would think would have an entrance, but once again, it doesn't. So I can't really get to the opposite side to confirm or visually show the entrances, but it's probably on the other end. Look, you can see a high rail truck rolling down the tracks there into the station. Geez, it's exciting. Look at that, eh? Again, too bad that we can't see some trains in operation along the alignment here, but they've been working at it all day. It's been people pretty much on the guideway all over the place, pretty much the whole length, here and there at least every second station. So I mean, it makes sense that they're not running trains because there's people out there. So here's another angle of the station. As you can see, just in the distance here is the entrance. There might be another entrance somewhere else, but can't really see it from this angle. And what looks like over there are the bus stops and bus platforms. Really a nice station. Especially this whole guideway section, how it's all elevated. It should be really interesting to ride. Here we are now at Kirkland Station. Once again, just alongside the highway A40. You can see the elevated guideway back over there that really starts to get quite high as it crosses over some other overpasses and on and off ramps. And from that direction, it came from Fairview, Pointe-Claire. Here's the station itself. Again, it has that nice look, similar to Ville Montreal station, except in this case, it's more brown than the reddish brown color of that station. Really, really high up the guideway. There's an entrance on this side of the road, and the main entrance is on that side. And from that side, you have the elevators, fare gates, everything else, and being able to go up to the platforms themselves. There's some emergency stairs back there, some ventilation ducts. And we have another station just over here. And just behind me, there's Tim Hortons and a shopping plaza. See, these station entrances are missing a little bit of glass, and the station name hasn't even been mounted yet on either side. So if we look inside here, you can see the entrance on this side, the fare gates, stairs that go up, as well as what appears to be the elevator to reach the pedestrian crossing here, which is one level down from the actual train guideway. And then on this side, I would assume it would be more or less the same. Stairs, elevator, fare gates to go in. So once again, looking at the station itself, you can see the highway A40 behind, the North Service Road over here. So once again, looking at the station, you can see the highway A40, the North Service Road, the pedestrian crossing, the guideway, and continuing on in this direction will bring you to the terminus station, final station on this branch of the REM, Anse-à-l'Orme. And finally, here we are at Anse-à-l'Orme, which is the western terminus on this branch of the REM, and the final destination and station we're going to be taking a look at today on this snapshot tour. You can see the guideway that was elevated from Kirkland slowly comes back down to ground level to reach this station. And then just a little farther west from the station, the guideway continues, branches off into multiple lines, and it goes into the light maintenance storage facility. You can see outside here they're preparing the bus loop, so all the bus stops, concrete pads for where the buses will stop, and waiting areas. As you can see, the shelters even have some radiant heat elements on the roofs. There's the station building, the entrance. From a distance at Anse-à-l'Orme, it kind of looks like the approach to Brassard when it comes back down and arrives into the station. Another shot here along Sainte-Marie. Looking at the station, you can see one of the platform screen door sides. And of course, rest of the station entrance, one of the traction power substations behind the fence, and then the bus loop and stops just over here. And that about wraps up this snapshot video. Thank you for joining us and taking a look at Montreal's Réseau Express Métropolitain. Keep in mind that these two branches from Gare Centrale going to Deux-Montagnes and Anse-à-l'Orme are scheduled to open later this fall, 2025. So thanks for watching. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to Rail Fans Canada for all the latest content and news on rail in the country.